Hey, my name is Andrew Bosch, and this is part 4 of 4 in how to draw chibis from super simple to whoa! Here's the real beefaroni dude. Start with the same proportions as the assassin, except make the waist as wide as the head and the shoulders even wider. Then add a little curve at the bottom of his torso because it needs some extra length. Basic rectangles for now for the legs, and the same for the arms, which have little blobby shapes for the hands. And then they meet the rest of the body at the halfway mark of this character. We'll give him little angles for feet too. Kawaii! He's going to be hunching like he's neglecting his traps in the gym, so connect the shoulders above his chin so that he has no neck. For the head, we can make a Pac-Man with an ear in the same position as our other characters, and his mouth is kind of weird and chibi exaggerated. It's kind of like a distorted rectangle with some pointy teeth at the top and bottom. I had to move those eyes down because they were bugging me. I try not to do that in tutorials, but that's usually how I draw, with a lot of erasing and yelling at my hand for making ugly things sometimes, like, why don't you just make beautiful things? But then I get over myself and I draw until 4 in the morning so that I'm sleep deprived the next day and everything's better. To beef up our beast, you can add some curves to the line of the pits and pecs for his deltoids. Let's make the hands now. This is my main go-to clenched fist when I don't really want to draw hands. Start with a boxy shape, then add a little notch for the finger, then curve around and give a little bump for the thumb, and do the same thing on the other side. Let's add the hair. So I'm going to wrap the hair around the head, but this is what it would look like if you could see through the head. And since his shoulder pad is going to be covering the hair that goes over his shoulder, I'll work on that later. For now, the pecs can be put into place, and the collarbones, which point to the corners of his shoulders. The clothes will be a speed draw since the step-by-step is right here, and the link is also in the description of this video. I feel like this guy kind of looks like the barbarians from Diablo 3. I don't know, but I really like the design of this guy. His body is like one of those dudes from Clash of the Clans, kinda. Here, the hair comes around the shoulders, and I added a tongue in the bottom right corner of the mouth because his head's turned, so the tongue is on the same side as the eyes of the other characters, who have their heads turned in the same way. Start with a guideline for the sword, then put a rectangle cross guard going in the same angle as his arm, and build a pointed rectangle from the cross guard down the guideline. Add a little swooshy thing to the back of the handle behind his hand, and then we can clean up the lines. Of course, we can't forget that bulging vein thing and lines in the face for this angry, cute little chibi. Adding these little details is called visual information, and it can make your piece look really great, but it's really easy to overdo. You usually want to put the most detail where you want the viewer to focus their attention the most. Okay, time for perfectionist stuff. First up is fixing the ear for some reason, then shaving off part of her hair so that she didn't look so egg-shaped. Then I added some shadows and, of course, that dude's Master Shifu mustache. And I also remembered to shade his hair. I can't believe I forgot that. Shiny parts are where the hair bulges out and like on the top and where it folds over his shoulders. You know, I could probably spend hours on something like that. Something that could be done in 2 hours. I get so caught up in each drawing that I just have to remind myself to move on. That's why I don't know how good I would be as a concept artist for movies and games, because you have to produce a lot of work in a short amount of time, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just good and fast. I don't know. I tend to be a perfectionist, so don't know where I was going with that. That's it for the Chibi series. Arigatou gozaimasu! Up next, manga.